my parents are still they're still alive, and they're still together, which is good, I think. I just like they're old, and I don't know if you have old parents and it's trying to comprehend, like, is it senility because of their age, or is it there's some sort of ultimate graduation present that you get for living long enough that you just don't have to give a shit anymore? And I really hope it's the second one, because they've entered that stage of just like, yeah, nothing matters. And it's kind of admirable if that's it. Hopefully they're just making a conscious effort to be like, nah, I don't care. Yeah. This is my dad clipping his toenails at the kitchen table next to a snack. Like, what are you doing, man? It's like, it's my house. I'm like, that's not an answer. Have some self-respect. But like also you know, they raised me. I thought they did a good job, and I remember lessons that they taught me to be a good person. I'd listen to some of them, but you know. But now the stuff that they taught me to be a good person, it's just gone. You chew with your mouth closed. And now I've seen every meal my mom's eaten for the last 10 years. They came to visit me, and I was excited, because rarely do they both come out to visit me at the same time because of schedules. I was excited. I'm like, well, what do you guys want to do? You want to go to the beach? Beach is a classic. Beach, everybody's happy at the beach, you know? We're going to go to the mountains and windy drive up the mountain. That's not something you get in the suburbs. You know, maybe we'll go to the desert. Ooh, desert's spooky, mysterious. And this is out Midwest there. Like, they got bowling? I'm like, yeah, they got bowling. So we went bowling. We went to this bowling alley. Now we roll up there, all the lanes were taken up, so we gotta wait for one to open. So we're at the bar having drinks and snacks, as you do. And this bowling alley, it was like an old-timey bowling alley. So instead of having the little inflatable tubes for when you know how you want to bowl, but you don't want the challenge. Oh, I love bowling, but it's just so difficult. You can put those inflatable tubes so you can bing-bong your ball down to the end. Well, this bowling alley, since it was old-timey, it didn't have those tubes. What it had were these mechanical rails that were hidden underneath each lane, and somebody would just press a button, and it'd be like, lane 3. Somebody push a button, and those little rails would just click, 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 and just steampunk their way up. And I thought that was pretty neat, because I hadn't seen it before. And neither had my mom. And she let everybody know. And the way she did that was from the bar of the bowling alley, she was pointing at the lane where those rails were going up and just bellowing, just going, I never seen them do that before. Did you even know they could do that? I didn't know they could do that. Just astonished at this turn-of-the-century technology. Thing is, the reason that those rails were going up on that lane is because there was a physically handicapped man bowling on that lane. Jump ahead if you want. You're not going to get extra credit. He had a walker. He would shuffle up to the foul line. His friends would hand him a ball. He would drop the ball. Half hour later, would knock down some pins. And everybody would cheer. It's a very thing, like, Stevie got 5, and a whole bowling alley, like, hell yeah, Stevie, 5, nice one, buddy. Now, I know that my mom was pointing at the rails. She knew she was pointing at the rails, but because of the distance from where she was pointing from, nobody else in the bowling alley had any goddamn idea she was pointing at the rails, because they just saw a 70-year-old woman with a shock of white hair and a Bud Light in one hand and an incredulous finger in the other, just bellowing with the voice of a billion Marlboro Ultralights. My mom sounds like me. Just pointing at a handicapped man bowling in disbelief and saying, did you know they could do that? I didn't know they could do that. I've never seen them do that before. I didn't know they could do that. And I saw that, and I was just like, ha ha ha! Oh, Mom. Maybe we don't point. Maybe we don't point because pointing's rude. Pointing's rude. You know how I know pointing's rude? You taught me that. You taught me that pointing's rude. I was little. We were at the mall, and a guy had a thing, and I was like, Mala, and you said, we don't point. That's what you said. You said we, but you meant me, and I appreciate you for that. You made it about us, not about the individual, and that was a learning moment for me. But so since that moment, we haven't pointed because we learned that pointing's rude, and we don't point anymore because we taught us that pointing's rude. Yet here we are, and now we're pointing, even though we know that it's rude, but yet we're pointing, and I'm trying to be nice, but she's still sitting there, Babe Ruth in this motherfucker. As I'm trying to explain to her, and finally I'm like, put your fucking finger down, you're being an asshole. She's like, you're just being sensitive. I'm like, well, you're being an asshole, but I can't say that to her because she's my mom and she's old and she'll die. So I gotta bottle that emotion up, and that's not a healthy way to hang out with the ones you care about. You wanna be open and converse instead of just being like, if you fucking point at the fucking crippled guy. Gave me a high score in bowling, I'll tell you that much. It's like 113, but still, for me, that's good. Because the rage is a great focusing agent, because I'm like, give me a heavier ball. I was trying to rip my shoulder out of the side. You wanna point at something? Point at this spare, Ma. You point at this fucking spare. Ball's just sailing over the lane, going through the pins.